Ooh. All right. Well, it's first time for everything, right? Like this is a big role for me. I I guess I was going to start in 2 minutes, and I'm just going to start right now. I think I've got one person watching. It's pretty exciting. Um, so something that I really love is I really enjoy the customer service aspect of plumbing and helping people, right? That's to me one of the absolute biggest parts of helping people and fixing things is just that one-on-one interaction you get with somebody that needs something fixed is awesome. And you create this trust with somebody, and I like that. Um, who Master Blaster in the house. Awesome. And we've got the man himself, that Stony Ridge farmer, man. This dude's awesome. Uh, it's me, that fix it guy. And I want to talk to you about plumbing. So, my biggest thing, like I was saying, my biggest thing is people. I think it's easy to make me laugh when you tell me you're going to make me laugh. Um, Here's the deal. Like, in all honesty aside, I mean, I'm laughing right now, but the best way to avoid overpriced plumbing is to really just get estimates. Get estimates. Do not take the first person that walks through your door, especially if they are trying to charge you $1,200 to install a kitchen faucet. It's insane. $1,000 labor on $100 piece of equipment is ridiculous, especially when it only takes like 45 minutes, right? Like maybe an hour. All right, you want to know about plumber's crack? I got plumber's crack. I've got great stories about plumber's crack. I had a client one time, I was installing their toilet. I know I'm getting way off track here, but I had a client one time, I'm installing their toilet, and the lady is Japanese and her husband is American. And this lady, she walks in the bathroom, she sees my butt crack. I know what she's talking about, even though I don't speak Japanese. Her husband starts dying laughing. I just turn around and look at her. I'm like, are you staring at my butt crack? And she just lost it, was so embarrassed. She left the room dying laughing. It was awesome. It was very cool. And me and that dude just laughed for a long time. I'm like, hey, man, you know you've got a good plumber if you see a little crack, all right? That's all I'm going to say with that. So back to the story at hand. You know, as I've thought about this, like somebody had mentioned this to me. I've had this happen to me 5 times. I can still count them only on one hand, going to somebody's house and they've paid $1,000 to have a kitchen faucet installed. Blows my mind. Like it blows my mind that somebody out there would actually charge somebody this for an hour's worth of work. And now there's always variables, right? Changing angle stops, changing those valves underneath your sink. Something doesn't go right. Your sink ends up being broken. There's all these variables where the price can grow. But we're talking for a simple kitchen faucet install. I know because I installed the next faucet after one of these things, and I'm going, man, like never call somebody like that again. Get estimates. One of my biggest and favorite things is talk to some of your friends. Like ask a friend that you trust about the plumber they've used or somebody they recommend, right? Share this on Facebook. That's why I started that DIY Fix-It group, for like that Fix-It Guy DIY group. That's one of the main reasons why I started that group, was to help people with this. If you need something, by all means ask. You know, I have a young kid, him and his wife just bought a home. I've never met him. We just were Facebook friends, had mutual friends in common, but he's texted me so many times over Facebook. I've helped him snake drains. I've helped him put faucets in. Like, he really does awesome by himself. He just wants to learn. He loves the channel, and he's just not afraid to ask. And, you know, if you just ask, anybody's going to really want to help. I have tons of plumbers on there. They've all agreed to help out with repairs. And so if you guys want, check out that Fix It Guy DIY group. It really is going to be a good source of info. There's not a lot of people posting. Once in a while, I got somebody posting projects or asking questions, but I feel that as this channel grows, that's going to grow, and we're going to do some good things. We'll make some good repairs. So with learning about the $1,250 install, you know, I reached out to 5 plumbers across the country, and I just asked, you know, what do you guys charge for just a simple faucet install? And so I have a friend down in Pensacola. He owns Deal Plumbing LLC. Dude is an awesome plumber, been doing it a really long time, and really does a lot of word of mouth stuff. Does not advertise so much. He advertises a little bit, but if you're in that area, check him out. Really, he's great. And he said he'd do it for $165, right? So his hourly rate, it varies a little bit from job to job, but really that's a good roll. How many pieces of bacon have I eaten during COVID? You want to know? Actually, I've got a good bacon story. So it's so funny. I have a friend that we were talking about bacon not so long ago. He's like, dude, they sell like this football-sized pack of baconed in pieces, just all these different cuts of bacon. And he's like, you should try those out. I mean, there's just so many different cuts, and there's a lot of these fatty cuts on there. And he's like, you just put those in the skillet, fry that stuff up, man. And they have been primo, dude. It took me a while to eat that, and I'm going to tell you, it was great. I am not setting in a bathtub right now. No. Thanks for asking, though. This back here is a birthday banner. I just turned a big 42, man. And then I got a quarantine haircut from my wife, and look at that. That's no joke, man. It's getting real. It's getting real bald up there. And so, but to answer your question, no, I'm not setting in a bathtub. Back to that. So my friend in Pensacola, plumbing company, Deals Plumbing. Check that guy out. Like I said, 165, varies a little bit if you have other issues. Reno's Plumbing down in West Palm Beach. You know, he said his a little bit more expensive. I mean, down there, it's bigger clientele. I don't know. It seems like it's a different price point out there, but he said 235 is typically what he would do one for. And let's see, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, Die Hard Plumbing. My friend Justin out there, he said it was 185. So you look, it's a big difference, right? But you can find those places all across the country, probably all across the world, that are going to be people that want to overcharge for something. Let's see what we got. Ooh, still a pup. Yes. You can't grow grass on top of a rock. It's so true. It's so true. It's funny, man. My wife, as soon as she did this, she just started laughing and was like, I don't know if you really wanted to go that route. I'm like, oh, baby, it's all right. I accessorize all the time anyway. Like, you pretty much don't ever see me without a hat on. So, you know why people in Kansas walk funny? I don't know why. Can you tell me? Let's hear this. Because they never walk up a hill. That could very well be true. Oh, man. So a couple more price comparisons here. Fisher Brothers Plumbing, or sorry, Fishers and Sons out in Detroit, Michigan. I talked to him and he said 150, right? I mean, I understand the Midwest is definitely a little bit different of a price point, but man, like you can see the trend here all across the country. I know all these little smaller shops that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people shops that are doing work for much less. It's still the same work. It's still the same bond. It's still the same insurance. It's still all this kind of stuff that you're going to get out of a big company without the major overhead, right? And then the homeboy, my friend that bought my plumbing company here, his company in Seattle is Luna Moon Plumbing, and he charges $200 to do it, right? Which around here is a good deal these days. Like, it's wild. So that was a big thing that I really wanted to talk about, is that get estimates by all means. Look on YouTube. I love YouTube for this. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons I got into this, is because I enjoy helping people. And I think that it is a wonderful platform to just learn. If you can't do something, somebody on YouTube can do it. I'm going to guarantee it. You can always go to the Stony Ridge. That dude, he does just about everything, man. I don't know there's something that dude can't do. Maybe he's a homeboy because he's from my hometown. I mean, I guess this ain't my hometown, but I call it my hometown now. Thank you. Thank you, Josh, for razzing me this whole time. Well, I love it. I'm really excited that hey man, we got 7 people in here. I find it awesome. What's everybody else up to right now? Has anybody else ever had some kind of crazy plumbing experience where they feel like they paid way too much? I feel like when you say plumbing, like, to me, like, service work is, going to somebody's house and fixing something. To me, there's customer service involved in that. And part of that is being fair and honest with people, in my opinion. So when you come to somebody's house and if they don't feel they can trust you and they think that the price is too high and too crazy, well, there's a good chance you're not going to get any return work, right? And I feel like some of these bigger companies that charge $1,000, they don't care about that, because they're looking to kind of get somebody and jump on somebody in an emergency type situation. Which, my thing is, and I was just talking to Stony Ridge about this a little bit ago, is that there's no such thing, as an emergency situation when it comes to plumbing. I mean, yes, you've got sewage coming out of places, you've got things coming. And if you don't have that sewer coming out and poop's going everywhere and you're losing your mind, well, you don't need to call somebody for that. If you've got a leaky faucet and you can shut that off and you can call around for a couple of days, well, wash the dishes in the bathtub, man. It's going to save you $700. I'm going to wash the dishes in the bathtub. That's it. We've all paid too much for a bunch of crap, all right? But hey, if we can learn something through this and actually save a few bucks, like, that's it. Learn where your water shutoff is. That is a big thing to me. Like, customers knowing where their water shutoff is and how to shut it off is huge. That alone right there will save you a ton of money. And then estimates. You get the estimates, you'll be hooked right up. What about an estimate that includes, I don't like you? Overpriced because the customers have paid. Okay. There have been those times too, right? But I'm usually the type of person that's still going to put on a brave face, even when they're rude to you. I mean, the most I've ever done is come to the point where I say, okay, it's great. excuse me, I understand you don't like this, but when it's all said and done, you pay me my money, I leave, you never call me again. And we can go with that right there. That to me is that that's the biggest scenario I've ever went. I've never gotten to a fist fight. I've never had somebody freaking out and yelling and running, trying to murder me or anything. It should cost a little bit more to put up with BS. You're absolutely right. But I've just never done that, man. Even a bad egg needs a good shake once in a while, right? Like that's the way I look at it. Let's see what Jim, you have a fixture that seeps. Oh, new pedestal sink. Oh yeah, dude. So, I mean, you're changing out pedestal or you're doing anything with the pedestal sink. Typically you're removing the pedestal sink, right? Because it's going to take it's time, man. Like my hands aren't small enough to get back there and fiddle with that in any way. Um, yeah, that's another price of doing business. And some people don't like that, right? Like you have to tell somebody, you walk in, you see a pedestal sink, like, man, it's more money because you're looking at another hour at a time or something. Can't do everything for $100. Just can't. Whew. Ever had a piece of stool in your mouth? No. No. I have one time in Korea on a sewer break. I have had my head underwater fixing a sewer break, but my mouth was closed and I was holding my breath every single time. All right. So no, never that. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the one. I like as Jim, you're talking about that Delta faucet, man. That on a pedestal, man, that's it always with the pedestal makes it a little tricky, right? It's just so much easier to pull the whole thing off, work on it, put it back together, and then you pray that it doesn't leak. That's it. And you put it back on. Man, I'm trying to think of other things. Like, I mean, that was really my biggest rant is that, look, there's people across the country that are willing to help. Take a couple more minutes and make a couple more phone calls. Ask a friend, ask a coworker. Somebody has had a good experience once in a while with somebody. That's the way I look at it. Like when I had my business, I didn't advertise because I didn't have to. Word of mouth, it was great. And it still is. I still refer a lot of work to Raphael because I don't like taking on things, right? If it's for my neighbor, then I'm happily going to go and I'm just going to help him out because that's the kind of dude I am. Or if it's somebody at church, well, then I'm going to help him out because that's the kind of dude I am. But outside of that, I don't really get into anything else too much anymore unless Raphael needs a hand with something. Then, he hires me as a temp employee from time to time. So that's pretty good. Besides that, YouTube and other stuff just take up a ton of time, man. Toddlers take up a ton of time. Whew, yeah. Same thing. $700 for yeah, man. I mean, you're looking at least a lot of times, man, it's at least if you're really good and fast, efficient at a pedestal, man, 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, if it all works out, yeah, it's unfortunate. When are you going to do the penetrating oil tryout? So I am in the process of getting some bolts, and I was going to drill a few different holes, put them in a piece of metal, and stick them in salt water. And that way, I feel like I can try to do a whole penetrating, a whole test of all these. I'm waiting for the corrosion. I think it's called corrosion cutter. It was a penetrating oil. So my brother-in-law, he's a music teacher, and he does a lot of stuff with musical instruments. So a place that he gets musical instruments worked on and gets repair parts from and stuff, they have some stuff that he says is really good, and I think it's their own little home brew. So I wanted to buy a little thing of that and try it out with this. So I'm kind of waiting for that to arrive, and then we'll go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, tell us a story about the Stony Ridge farmer. Oh, man. Oh, Stony Ridge, man. Let's see. Stony Ridge used to live in this, when I was in the Air Force station there, he had got out a little bit after I got there or something. But man, he lived in some cool places. He was the first guy that I had ever met in the military. He lived on this little, I think he described it best last night as like a little farm parcel or something, kind of by Ogden, Utah. Like, it was a cool little place. And he had chickens. And man, like, he had chickens, and he would always sit on his front porch and play guitar. And the guy was awesome, man. It was just so much fun going to that house. That house was cool. And then he moved to a trailer park. Like, I mean, I guess I didn't really know like his dealings back then, right? Like, I mean, he had a fix-it company. I remember he fixed up an old motel at one point. We used to play a lot of horseshoes. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other things. Camping. I remember camping on this crazy side of a mountain one time with all these guys. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're good times. I met up with him one time. He came to Arizona. Stony Ridge came to Arizona one time, and I met up with him after him and another one of his friends were hiking the Grand Canyon. And that was the first time I had seen him in many years, and it was really good. Oh, I got a good one. Back in the day, Raphael, a former Ninja Turtle, he totally is, dude. This guy is a Ninja Turtle, and he sings Michael Jackson like awesome. I've tried to talk him into starting his own YouTube channel called The Mariachi Plumber because, man, this dude sings some mariachi phenomenal. It's awesome. I always try to make him sing to me at work, and he hates it, but maybe he loves it. But he really is very good at it, and he's good at what he does. Nothing ever goes as fast, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm interested to see what that little penetrant is going to be for the musical instruments. You know, I've read a lot, like after this whole WD-40 debacle, and you know, everybody telling me to get other stuff. Like, it's great. But I feel like I go down rabbit holes a lot too with it, right? And I always want to like see, okay, so what everybody else is doing. What's this guy doing? And I wanted to make some of my own too with some transmission fluid and some acetone and just see how well that works against everything else. I don't know how to put it in an aerosol form or anything, so I might have to get one of those little old school oil cans and squeak, squeak, squeak it on there. But it should be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. Oh, nice. Oh, my brother-in-law Tom is in here, man. Cool. Yeah, it says that stuff works great on old brass instruments. Yeah, that's cool, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out and just see what we can do there. What color was his mask? I think it was red, dude. I think Raphael's mask was red. I'm really excited for when Logan gets old enough actually to get into to Ninja Turtles. I mean, he's in the Ninja Turtles now, and he's got a Ninja Turtle costume, but I won't let him watch it yet. Like, spitting on the brass, yeah, dude. And my brother-in-law rocks out, man. He does good stuff. Howlin' Hurricane Gaming, how's it going? What kind of gaming you doing tonight? Nasty stuff. The mask was dirty brown. I hope it wasn't dirty water brown. Oh man. Well, I have to say for being 6 people, I really have enjoyed this. It's good. I hope at least one of us learned something, and I have learned that Stony Ridge can still make me laugh like crazy. I actually can't wait to go out to the farm and do a collab video with him. It'll be a lot of fun. What would a man with a lot of brass horns be? Oh, I don't know. I just know you're gonna tell me. Oh, I am not good at jokes, man. I just never get them, and I always think they're so funny, man. My grandpa used to tell me he had a joke for man. He could give you 50 jokes a day and never run out of jokes, and I could not remember one to save my life. Keep it PG. Easy. Easy, easy. Oh yeah, we got to stay PG here, Stony Ridge. I know there's only 5 people in here, but maybe the other few people want to watch it. Oh man, you had a tuba? You were a tuba player? I knew you were a musician. I just didn't know that you were getting into the horn section. Oh man. Well, I don't really have anything else. If anybody else has any other questions. Oh, dude, all you guys played. I never played an instrument. I mean, I think my mom bought me a recorder at some point. You played the tuba in the Air Force band? Are you serious? How did I not know that? Wow. Stony Ridge is a man of all facets, dude. You every time surprise me. Every time. Um, I love it. Oh, favorite military movie, man. Ooh, that's hard, man. That's hard because I watched a lot growing up. My family, all military. My mom did 26 years in the Army. My stepdad did 20 in the Army. Um, they are, and then I went to the Air Force. My stepdad was in Vietnam, so I've watched a lot of Vietnam movies, man. Old school Hamburger Hill. You get into war movies, man. What was that Quentin Tarantino movie? Like, that was pretty good. I've been really wanting to watch Hacksaw Ridge. I just haven't had the chance to yet. I feel like that's going to be one of my favorites if I ever get a chance to. Full-size King Val? These kids will play? Wow. Oh, that's awesome. There was an old school show back in the day called Tour of Duty, I think. Something like that. I really liked that too. The Rambo series, some of my favorite fake war movies. I mean, Company Leader to Raven. Come in, Raven. Dude, those montages, freaking Colonel Troutman montages, primo, dude. Cool. Hacksaw Ridge, dude. I actually have it, like Stony Ridge is saying, I need to fix some old lawnmowers. I will certainly do that. I have an old pressure washer that I'm fixing to pull out and try to fix because my fence needs to be washed down again. And I was actually going to ask you about something to put on my fence, right? Because I looked up stuff and I got caught up in what I was actually going to do with it. And it turns out I did nothing but pressure wash my fins. And I left it and it looked good for 2 years and it went back. And I've heard that if I linseed oil it, or if I was to use some kind of stain or a paint, that I was just going to end up having to do that again. And so in the end, I just ended up, it's a cedar fence. I just ended up pressure washing it and then letting it go, and it's great again. And I'm going to do it again. So do you recommend that I put linseed oil on it? What do you guys think? Or do I do some other kind of oil? Or do I just do nothing like I've been doing and pressure wash it? But I'm going to pressure wash it. And I don't know. At this point, I'm starting to ramble because I'm answering questions too, I guess. But I like the pressure washing it. I actually don't mind pressure washing, and I just didn't know what else to do. You read so many different conflicting things online, and eventually I just kind of gave up on it and said, well, this is what I'm going to do. It looks good. And if I'm going to end up washing it down every 2 years to reseal it, well, then I'm just going to wash it down again. Or there's the pee on it method with the salt cure. All right. Well, hey, I thank you guys. I really hope the videos are helping. I appreciate everybody watching. The 6 people that are in here and the 2 other or 3 other people that have bounced in and out. Thank you too. I love you all. Janae, Logan, and Mabel, we all appreciate it. We're just trying to do something to help some people out and to help my wife be a stay-at-home mom. So thank you very much. And you guys have a great evening. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Howling Hurricane Gaming and whoever else is in here. Thank you very much. Good night.